do we stand? The way you been moving, what is your plan? Baby, I'm confused. Is you gon' make me choose? It seem like we going through the motion. Vibe is it in show song. I know it's new to us. Hard to let your feelings take control. I've been there before, but if you not right, then let me know. Don't you hide it, let me know. Show my hand, now don't you fall. Up to you how this could go. Don't let me down, just let me know. Here come the truth. Sticking around.
Oh, dude, that is fucking dope. Rusty Rail, isn't that the one that you?
It's the one I sent you. Yeah, this is peach.
Peach and vanilla, bro. Is it good?
Yeah, it's really, really good.
Damn, that's sweet. I got Are you recording?
Yeah.
Okay, so I showed the wine already. It's fucking dope ass.
Yeah.
But then I got the stuff to try something real quick. Let me grab it. I think we talked on the stream. This Miller High Life drink that I saw.
Oh, you're gonna make it?
That I really wanted to try. It was so I got the High Life, and then you do like a shot worth of, it's supposed to be Aperol, but I got Campari. They're similar. And then you put a lemon in there. You're supposed to squeeze the lemon in there. I might just squeeze the lemon into the Campari so that it goes in
smarter,
easy.
Yeah.
It's called a spaghetti.
Spaghetti.
Yeah. Which doesn't sound like a great drink name, considering it sounds exactly like spaghetti. But I'm gonna try it anyway. It looked pretty good. It looked like it was like orange and sweet and shit. Here we go. I think I gotta drink a bit of this. Okay.
Oh, that's dangerous.
Because Campari is, I think, like 30%. So now I'm gonna try to shove this lemon in there just for a little extra pizzazz.
Is Campari, is that cherry?
No, it's made out of burnt oranges. Actually, it's kind of bitter, but it's like, I'm overflowing here. The lemon is doing too much. Okay. It's like really, really bitter. It's used in like gin drinks and stuff, but we need to get Barry on here and have him just talk about alcohol. Barry. That guy's, he knows more than I could ever even dream about knowing about stuff. He went to Scotland for a scotch tasting for all the original scotch places, and then he goes to the Caribbean and gets like banana rum every year. He
was in my stream this morning. That's funny.
He's awesome.
What you said you didn't end up trading today though?
No, dude, that's pretty good.
Is it? It looks good.
Yeah, because it like balances the beer really well, because beer's got like distinct flavor, kind of like weedy, kind of like you're like eating bread almost.
Yeah.
That's what I always think of when I think of like Miller's. It like gives it like a bit of a citrus and bitter. It's pretty fucking good. I'm surprised, actually. I wasn't sure what to expect because I don't like Campari by itself. I actually hate it, but
I've never had it.
Yeah, I would drink that again. Plus, it just looks cool. It's like orange and
yeah,
not as cool as your can though. Peach and vanilla; those are the flavors that I can get behind.
Yeah,
like citrus plus vanilla, I always like.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
What do you think about this SPY chart? I pulled it up here on my trading view, and I think it looks pretty disgusting if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
we now have a pretty clear trend for like that 180 or 480 topping, and then this last top, which ended up around like 460. Like that's a pretty steady trend line that we're going to be able to use for the future.
Yeah, I was talking about this in Discord. If it fails 435, it honestly has a ton of room. Has a ton of room to like. I can see a scenario where we end up at like 410.
Yeah.
So
I actually agree. I think 420 comes really quick after if 435 goes, which it could tomorrow, then
yeah,
next week I think we see 420.
yeah. Um, just it's in such a dangerous spot. Like I won't be surprised tomorrow if we gap down.
Everyone's talking like that.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's
This
just
this podcast will come out after that, but still, if we gap down tomorrow, we could be fucked, dude. Like we could be like 420 fucked and then 410. And then if we make a new lower low, then like it's like bear market is secured. Like there's not much to help at that point.
yeah, it's such a weird area because like people are trying to I tell people this every single day. I'm like, no matter we gap down tomorrow, we gap up tomorrow, whatever happens, if you are literally just taking it day by day, at the moment, like that's the best feeling because it genuinely doesn't matter what happens
Yeah, I agree.
at all. Like if you know how to trade both ways, it does not matter. I'm just still seeing people get caught up with some certain bias for whatever the reason may be.
I have the only thing that I have that has any bias in it is I took two swings in gold and silver plays. They're like gold and silver miners, but I think gold and silver could, if SPY makes a lower low here, I could see gold and silver being the move. I could see them breaking out on their charts and stuff, which we're going to talk about them later in this episode. But I think that's a good way to hedge this SPY move here because once people rotate out of the market, they're going to probably rotate into precious metals, which
Yeah.
bodes well for those miners.
Yeah, definitely.
You get a new car yesterday, or did you just look at one?
No, I told you, I think it was yesterday on your stream that there was one I was looking at and I went like day I wanted to go drive it, I called and I was like, "Hey, is this still available?" And it ended up getting sold and then I found another one yesterday. I went and drive day and it was super super nice, but I don't know. I'm just still kind of debating, but it's just so hard to buy anything now because in 2 years it'll be 3/4 the price. You buy a house, you buy a car. It's just so I don't. It's just such a tough decision.
It's so hard for me to buy a new car too, because I know the moment I drive it off the lot, like I'm gonna lose like
It's
5-10 grand
Yep,
immediately.
it's a
So it's
problem.
like I'm like absolutely like bonered up for these new Broncos, but like I can't spend the premium right now. So I'm just waiting.
Yep.
I'm just sitting, but it sucks because it's like I don't want to drive the car I have anymore. But it's not worth it to lay the premium.
Yeah, you have to like know for sure like this is what I want and I'll have it for a long time.
Especially if you're gonna lay like real money on it. If you're gonna buy like a used car that you're just gonna beat around, then it's a different story. But if you're gonna buy like a car that's like expensive, then yeah, you got to know it's gonna be like the car you want.
Yeah, like it has your decision has to be made up in your mind like 100%. That's what you're rolling with. Because if you buy it and you're like, oh shit, should I have bought this? Then you're already screwed.
Yeah, there's no fucking point in doing that. Like just being like, I kind of like this car. I'm just gonna buy it. Like I've been
Yeah,
debating just like getting a shitty car for a while, like just to like roll with it. And I'm like, why would I get a shitty car that I'm not like in love with when I already have a shitty car that I'm not in love with that still drives? Like, why wouldn't I just drive
that's
this one
probably
out?
paid off and all that. Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah. Like
yeah,
it just makes zero sense. I think the thing that people forget about too is like the more loan you take out, the more you're paying for that car. The moment you drive it off the lot, it decreases money. You're getting fucked multiple ways when you buy a car.
Oh, it takes
Like,
I forget who told me this, but it takes 3 years before you even start paying towards the car.
that's
The first 3 years,
nuts.
it's like all interest and all that bullshit. It's like,
That's fucking
isn't
crazy.
that crazy? You don't even start paying off the car till like 3 years in.
I told my girl, I was like, I'm gonna pay full cash for a car and it's gonna like be a big chunk that I'm gonna have to take out, but I can't like it's worth it in the long run. Like it's so worth it to just lay the 40 grand up front
Whatever you can do
rather
to
than end up
not,
paying 55.
whatever, this is like the best advice I was ever told. Eh, If, well, two things. If you can't, say you're looking at a car, or I guess this doesn't really apply to a house, but maybe it does. You're looking at a car. If you can't comfortably buy two of anything, you shouldn't buy it. If you're like barely able to afford something like a car and you go ahead and buy it, you shouldn't. If you can comfortably buy two of something, somebody told me that and I'm like, yeah, that's like makes total sense. Also, whatever you can do to not like debt or like payments every month is such a burden. Like
100%, man.
like whatever you can do to have the least amount of payments per month, do it. If you don't, the car I looked at, this is talking, if I didn't put any money down, it would have been like a lot of money, like
Per month.
per month. And I was sitting there, I'm like, but how can I justify that? Like, obviously I'd put money down on it or I'd pay cash for it, but for somebody that goes to buy something and you're paying like a ridiculous amount of money per month, it's just not worth it.
Agreed. It's like if you can't pay that monthly payment like three times over, like if your monthly payment would have been like $500, which is pretty common nowadays just for a car payment, if you can't pay 1,500 comfortably,
Yep.
like shouldn't be fucking with it. If you can't buy the car that you're looking to buy twice, you shouldn't be looking at it. Like all that kind of stuff. Like the same with like watches, same with, if you're looking at like buying just like some random shit like that you want to buy, if you can't buy that twice, like why the fuck are you buying it?
Yep.
Just doesn't make sense. I know people who like finance like TVs and stuff. And I'm like, why the fuck would you ever buy a TV that you have to finance?
Yeah.
If you can't buy it, then don't fucking buy like don't buy it.
Yeah.
Walk away from the damn TV. It's gonna be okay.
Or dude, what gets me is people will spend all kinds of money on jewelry, like just to take a picture, just to be like, hey, look, I have this. But like, for what? Nobody looks at that. Nobody looks at whatever you post, that piece of jewelry you own, and they're like, for days just thinking, God damn it, like, I want to be him. They look at it for
No
10
one's
seconds, they're like, oh, that's cool. Okay, and they
no
forget
one's
about
like,
it.
wow, look at how rich this man is on the
Yeah.
street. Everyone is just like walking by you. Like you're thinking about yourself more than anyone else is thinking about you. That's the thing that people got to realize is like whatever you're wearing, whatever your like your jewelry you got like if you have like the dopest fucking platinum big ass chain on or whatever it's gonna be, diamond encrusted. I don't even know the words I'm saying if those are things, but if you got that, like everyone's gonna probably notice it and then just keep walking and forget about it within 4 seconds.
Yeah.
Like that's it. That's all it is.
Nobody like I couldn't tell a Rolex from a fucking G-Shock. Like I genuinely couldn't. I see a Rolex. If I even see somebody wearing a watch, I'm like, I don't even know what that is. Like I can't tell.
Be a Timex.
Like it could be like a $20 watch. I have no idea. So
I know the crazy thing is some of these things are like good investments. Like I know like chains and stuff can actually be good investments. It's just everyone who buys them usually is not buying them for investment purposes. Like
no.
I know Rolexes have gone up like 15 or 20% in the past few years, but like everyone who's buying them is buying them to like be like, yo, check out my fucking drink I got and like Rolex.
Yep. Yeah.
They're not actually investing in it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's such a I'm sure people feel differently, but it's so hard for me to spend money on anything.
I don't spend a whole lot at all. I honestly spend more money like living life, like just like
Life
buying
like,
groceries, like fucking going places, doing fun stuff,
yeah.
rather than I spend on like anything, which is weird, but
Yeah, I can't. I just, if anybody knows me, like I cannot. I don't know. I just can't. I'll look at some. I'll be like, oh man, I want that, and then I'll think a minute later, but do I need it? And I always say nope, and then just never buy it.
Yeah. You see Netflix this week?
Yeah, dude. I remember you texted. I remember you texted us that you were taking puts into
Yeah.
earnings, and how'd those do?
Like I had only two puts. They were like I think they were like $700 each. Um, because I was using, we're going to talk about this a lot this episode, but I was using it was like a lotto size. It was like made up of my profit from the week, but it was $600, 650 in one of my accounts and 600 in another account. And one of them went 700% and the other one went 850. And I sold them right at the opening bell. If I would have held them 30 minutes longer, they were at 13 and 1400%. But I was cool selling them both right at the bell for that crazy, crazy price. But um, yeah, man, I was just kind of thinking about Netflix, and I was like, I haven't seen much good um, social media presence. Everyone's kind of been dogging on Netflix. Their shows that they're putting out, their original stuff they're putting out. They got rid of a lot of good shows in the past like year or two. They got rid of like all of their like main shows like The Office. I'm pretty sure Friends is gone too, I think. I'm not sure, but they got rid of the ones that like everyone comes back for and watches like 20 times over in their lifetime. And then they pulled out of Russia, which I mean, good on them for pulling out of Russia, but that's going to hurt a little bit. They raised their prices. HBO, Hulu,
HBO.
Paramount have all been coming out and like getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. I keep seeing people like, go watch this like Hulu show. This Hulu show is awesome, or this HBO
Yeah.
show is amazing. I don't see that for Netflix. Like I haven't seen that in a while. Netflix was the big craze within the past like 10 years. It's been crazy. And I didn't see that within the past like year. So yeah, I took puts just based on all that, and they were lotto size. So if I lost, 100% of the position, I wouldn't have been all that mad. Um, and then fucking crack down. It was a Clifford boner
Yeah.
to the downside. And now everyone's talking, is Netflix going to be the new Blockbuster where, they've done so well and they've been the thing, and then the new thing comes out, which we probably haven't even seen the new thing, and then Netflix is just like something of the past, and then it slowly just dies. Um, what do you think about that?
I think their biggest problem, honestly, is the fact that you can just share your account.
Password sharing. Yeah.
Like, there was one time where me and all my friends used the same password. That's like 10 people. So, like, I don't know why or how, but they need to, like, crack down on that shit. Also,
I figure they'll do some two-factor authentication
they
or
need to
some like
yeah.
shit like that.
Also, HBO Max is way better. You can get, like, that Batman movie that just came out is now on HBO Max. Like, it was just in the movie theater. So, like, they're getting movies, like, movies that are in the theater right away. They're doing series, like Game of Thrones and all those really good series are through HBO. And Netflix, the pricing just continues to go up. And for what? Like,
Yeah.
they're, for their pricing, they're not keeping up with new stuff. So,
The quality's gone down and the price has gone up.
yep.
Like
Yep.
Netflix, I would say like 5 years ago, Netflix was like a staple. Like it was like
Yeah.
the
Everybody had it.
single streaming. Yeah, exactly.
Every single
Everybody had
person.
it. And then now it's like people are talking other stuff.
Yeah.
I would probably say I don't think it's going to be the new Blockbuster, but they need to definitely make some business changes. They definitely need to fucking keep their good shows on there and keep making seasons of them. They keep like denying good shows of new seasons, which I'm not sure why they're doing that. I'm not sure why they keep raising their prices. I'm pretty sure you can get Hulu package for $5.99 and then the other one for like $9.99. That's what they should do. They need to have multiple packages of like one with ads, one without ads.
Yeah.
They've so far they've just been fucking floundering.
Yeah, HBO's not. I think HBO's like $12 maybe. So
I saw that they got the new Batman, and I was honestly gonna like actually get it today because I was like, I want to watch this new Batman
Yeah.
super bad.
yeah, they also I've watched Game of Thrones through like 4 times,
It's so good,
dude.
man. It's so good.
It
It might be the GOAT TV show.
I think it is. I don't. What else would compete with it?
I was thinking maybe Breaking Bad, but Breaking Bad kind of fucked it up at the end.
Yeah. Also, Breaking Bad. When was the last season of Breaking Bad? Like a while ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like maybe like 2012, maybe.
Because like the last season of Game of Thrones was like 2019.
Yeah.
So like like the animation and all that shit was far and away the like quality was far and away better than like the way it was shot, the cinematography. Like I'm big into that kind of stuff. Like the cinematography in Game of Thrones was crazy.
Yeah, I think Game of Thrones definitely has it from a cinematography. I think from like a pure acting, Breaking Bad probably has it. Just because Breaking Bad, like the showrunners, the main dudes were like impeccable. But Game of Thrones also didn't give that many opportunities for like pure acting performances. They were more like combination of action and like all that kind of stuff. Breaking Bad was all like drama. Like it was all like rooted in how the actors performed.
Who'd you hate more though, Skyler or Joffrey?
Joffrey, I think.
Bro, I've never hated anybody more than Skyler in Breaking Bad ever.
Dude, you got to think about it from her perspective though. I hated Skylar too, but like from her perspective, bro, like her husband is just like ruining their life. Like he kind of is.
Yeah, I
But
also
she was a mega bitch, bro. She was bad.
I also hated what's her face from Ozark.
Oh,
The mom.
what's her name? Marty and oh, that's gonna kill me.
It's not Wendy, is it?
Wendy.
Yeah.
Wendy. I did not like Wendy, dude. The first like 2 seasons, Wendy was the worst. I haven't watched season 4 of Ozark yet. I completely
I think
forgot
season 4 part 2 just came out.
because that's actually a show that's in like my top 10
Ozark's
shows too.
so good, yeah.
Because I was gonna watch it all with my girlfriend, starting at season 1 before season 4 came out, and then season 4 came out, and we just never got there, and she
Yeah.
didn't like it as much, so we just stopped watching it. So I actually completely forgot about season 4.
Do you watch scary stuff? Like horror?
Yeah, I do.
What's that? Oh, did you ever watch Midnight Mass?
Mm-hmm.
You watched Midnight Mass?
I loved that.
Dude, that was such a good show on Netflix.
I loved that. I loved all of those in that series because that's the same one with
Bly
the
Manor
house,
and
right?
Hill House.
Yep.
It's the same director.
Yeah, those are fucking amazing. Those are shot so well.
Oh, dude, I love anything horror. Like that's my
You know
shit.
what I love? Serial killer documentaries, bro.
Mm-hmm.
John Wayne Gacy one just came out on Netflix. I started episode 1 last night, fell asleep. I'm gonna finish it tonight.
You watched like the Night Stalker, I'm assuming, and all those
That
ones.
was a good one.
Night
I like the
Stalker.
Night Stalker.
Ted Bundy was good.
Yep.
Yeah, those are really good.
Dude, you'll have to watch the Gacy one. His is like a little like it's like weirder than the rest of them. The rest of them they're just like psychopaths killing people. Like Bundy, psychopath killing people. Night Stalker was just more pure, just like psychopath.
Yeah.
Gacy is like different. He's like more of like a calculated predator. It's really weird. I got like immensely uncomfortable watching it. Because he was like his voice was so like it was like his voice was like he was being so genuine when he was talking about like yeah, I didn't do anything wrong. Like he was saying these things and it sounded so real, but then you have to remember that that's like his entire game is like sounding so
Like
it was really
manipulative.
weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also, dude, recently I watched it's a show with Ben Affleck. It's a movie actually on Hulu. Deep Water. And that made me feel so fucking uncomfortable. I've never felt so uncomfortable in my
What's
entire
it
life,
about?
I think. Um Actually, I got two to talk about. So this deep water one is, let me find
Deep water.
the name of the other one. It's called Deep Water. It's Ben Affleck. I actually don't even recommend it as a movie. It's not even that good, but like it's about this guy who he's like a really boring guy,
Hmm.
but he's married to like this like Italian lady, and she is like a serial cheater, and he's just like cool with it. But then he ends up murdering the people that she cheats with, like every time. He just keeps killing them. Like she'll start cheating and he kills them every single time from the beginning of the show. And it literally just goes through what they're like their entire life. And it like made me so uncomfortable because their relationship is like so like just like toxic and bad that it was like hard to watch. It was genuinely hard to watch. Like he was just like hurting so bad inside that he would just go and fucking murder these dudes. It was crazy. Um, Let me find the other one. This other one. So when I said that Deep Water made me um the most uncomfortable I've ever been in my entire life, I had forgotten about this movie. Just a second. I think it's called Brick by Brick. No, here it is. The House That Jack Built. It's on Hulu.
What's it about?
That I couldn't finish it because I was so uncomfortable. So it goes through this serial killer's life, like as he kills people, but it's like so graphically like beautiful. Like it's like beautifully shot. It's like it makes you want to like be like, wow, this is a good movie. But then he's like such a psychopath that it's terrifying. So he's like an architect and he basically like is building houses, but he's also killing people during this time in his life. And it like shows you all this stuff. It's really well shot, but it made me I couldn't even finish it. I watched an hour of it and I shut it off because it was like 10 p.m. and I was like, I'm gonna have nightmares and I'm a grown fucking man and I'm gonna be like waking up sweating tonight if I continue watching this. It was just really uncomfortable. Let me see what it says about it.
I never even heard of that movie.
Yeah, so it says that this guy is known, the director is known for his intense art films, which that's exactly what it was. He like, so it's basically this, it's like shows how this guy becomes the serial killer. He like slowly like the first things he does are like really small, and then he slowly just like continues and continues and continues, and it's just
Yeah.
so fucking
Sounds good.
scary. So realistically scary.
Oh, dude, that movie that Northman movie comes out tomorrow that I told you about. Remember?
It in theaters?
Yeah, for one day.
Then where's it gonna go?
I don't know. It's only in theaters for one day.
What?
Yeah, bro. I'm not about to go. I wanted to go see it, but
What's it
like
called again?
The Northman.
The Northman.
I'm not gonna
Let me see if
go.
the place next to me has any.
It's gonna be packed, dude. You think I don't want to be in a theater with a full theater of every?
Dude, there's only 2 showings.
Yeah, that's it. It's it. One day and then it's gone.
What?
Yeah, I have no idea.
It looks so badass though.
Oh my god, it looks so good.
It says it's a prince being on the verge of becoming a man when his father is brutally murdered. 2 decades later, he's a Viking on a mission to save his mother and avenge his father. That's fucking
It's like
badass.
bro, it got like one of the best ratings on Rotten Tomatoes ever in the
90%, yeah.
Like, and you're telling me it's gonna be in theaters for one day? Like,
It's got to be coming to like HBO Max right after that or something.
I looked. It's like Paramount.
Oh, I actually like Paramount.
I've never used it.
It's like $4.99 a month or something like that.
What is
Pretty
it, like
cheap.
movies or shows or both?
It's both. And they also have they have a lot of reality TV. So you can watch like all of the like survivors right after they come out, all that kind of stuff. We initially got it because my girlfriend's family watches what's that show? Big Brother. They watch Big Brother every year. And we initially got it for that, but then they actually had some pretty good shit on there.
I can't believe it. Like, why one day? Whatever.
Yeah, I don't fucking know. I got 2 stocks we got to talk about here. We're gonna actually it's only one, and I'll let you talk about if you have any like top watches for the rest of the week or next week. But then we're gonna do kind of a bigger Netflix spotlight, because I feel like that's a big name we need to talk about considering the discount it's at right now. But the one I want to talk about for this just like recent plays, recent watches type of area is AXSM. If you look at AXSM on their daily chart, they actually had a really nice move earlier this week where they gapped up from right about $35 to like 41, due to some news about their FDA meetings. And I actually really like AXSM as a swing into Padufa. I don't know how people say it, but I know Tim O'Connell's on it as well. He's someone that I really trust to do due diligence. He's one of the only people on FinTwit that I actually will like look at their due diligence and like think it's, I guess, sufficient. That's the right word, like sufficient. But they have a PDUFA, and I think that they're probably going to get approved. But that's the main swing I have right now. I sold most of it, and I'm probably going to add some more back below 40 just for this swing into the data. But I'll most likely sell probably, all but 1/4 before the actual data comes out because I don't want to get stuck in something bad.
Yeah.
You have any recent plays or anything like large cap wise that you're really, really watching close for the next few weeks?
Yeah, and it's been the same one for a while, AMD. It's just out in the middle of nowhere now.
Yeah.
Like, quite literally in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing stopping it but psych levels. So I've been riding this train for a while. What else outside of that? I've been shorting AMD a lot after that crazy run it was on. But honestly, there's so many charts that just continuously are making new 52-week lows every single day. Like if you look at Roblox is just, again, in the middle of nowhere. SoFi in the middle of nowhere, DraftKings, Lucid. There's so many different things, and Affirm that are very easy shorts. Essentially, you're looking for new 52-week lows. But AMD has been printing money for me for a while. Like, AMD's been in a downtrend since November. So
Yeah. People forget that this thing a year ago was like $75.
yeah, or Roblox was 150 and now it's 30.
So crazy. There's going to be like the time is going to come to go long on a lot of these things, like swing wise, long term wise, and there's going to be an absolute fuck load of money to be made. It's just not right now. You know what I mean? Like it's just not
It's just
yet.
hard to
Just
know what
hold out.
fair value is for something like Roblox. Like, because it's not worth $140, and do I think it's worth $30? I mean, probably not. But
It's just hard to tell because it's like if you go look at, let me just pull up Roblox.
it's like with SoFi too. I loved SoFi. Did I think SoFi'd come down to $6? Probably not.
SoFi is fucking. I love SoFi, dude. Long term, I actually like that thing a lot. I mean, I don't have a position because I can't, but
Yeah.
dude, because here's the thing about Roblox is they're bleeding $500 million.
I don't understand. Due to what?
They're bleeding like that, which yeah, it doesn't make sense. Like, what are you bleeding from that much? Like, it just must be. And then their debt to equity ratio is 1.69. That is really fucking bad.
Like, you know how many little kids play that game that use their mom's credit card to buy in-game stuff? Like, how is that? What is, like, I don't get it.
Yep. Insiders in the last 3 months have sold 75% of their shares. Man, that's looking nasty for Roblox. That's looking like really fucking bad.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
these plays, though, are I don't want to say easy because nothing's easy, but they're extremely low risk. If you're taking something that continuously is making a new 52-week low, you're basically going off intraday levels because there's nothing else to go off of.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Here's a name I was talking about like last week. FSRD. So this thing was like a SPAC. It was $10 into February, I think. But I mean, SPACs have been just getting murdered lately. It's $1 right now, and institutions have added. I think they doubled their position in the past 3 months. Um, that's one of those names where it's like the risk is so low. It's making 52-week lows every single, few days, but it's like soon enough that risk will get so low that it's almost like at some point you have to add if the big money's adding and it's just like continually making lows. It's like as soon like eventually when it gets flattened out, like Incredible Bob talks, those frying pan bottoms, um, it's worth it in the end. But right now, I mean, there's so much
100.
downside to be had for SPY. It's like questionable as to when any of that shit is going to be able to like actually reverse because we don't know. We don't know if SPY, drops to 420 next week. Everything could be down 10% more
I
than
see.
it is right now, 20% more.
Yeah, I see it has 140K volume. You know what else is a good one? Clove.
I fucking hate that company.
I
dude.
remember somebody told me that they said, "Hey, have you ever played Clove?" I said, "No, I hate that stock." I don't know
They're
when
going to try
this.
to fight you.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know. This was like 20. This was like last year sometime. Maybe I don't know, spring, summer. And somebody was like you should play this. Like this is the next big thing. When like it had all that hype around it, and it was like at 20 some dollars. I said, dude, like it's just not something I want to play. And now it's at. He's like, oh, but dude, like you're gonna miss it. It's the next big thing. It's at $2. Like,
Dude,
bro.
look at the fundamentals on Clove, man. This thing's market cap. So, we were just talking Roblox burns $500 million.
Yeah.
Clove burns more than Roblox.
Yeah.
Roblox is a fucking massive company. Clove is not a massive company. That's so crazy.
Strong. Yeah, it says
So
analyst rating strong sell. Yeah, you
this.
don't say.
Institutions are dumping.
Yeah, it's
It's so bad. We were going to talk, I was going to talk a shitload about earnings lottos because I feel like I've seen that kind of be the thing on Twitter this week. I've
yeah.
seen, I don't know the name. Is it someone named like Starboy or something? Some guy I've never heard of go from like I don't know how many followers he had, but like now he has like 100K because he called Netflix.
Mhm.
I think I don't know which ones he called, but he made like 1,000% on them, and a lot of his followers banked too, which is fucking awesome for him, the followers, everybody. But we got to talk about these lottos because these are very very risky. I usually do a few earnings reports lottos, probably 1 to 2 a month, I'd say. And I would say most of the time I end up losing money. Like I would say probably half the time the stock moves the way I want and I end up about even, and half the time the stock moves the other way and I lose usually somewhere around like 30% because I usually take a little more help via dates, via expiration, via premiums to make sure I don't lose 100%. But you gotta use profit for these, man.
Yeah.
Like I think that's one of the biggest things is if you're not making enough money per month, per week to use your weekly profit in a lotto, then you shouldn't be taking a lotto. Like your account needs to be to a size where you can use profit effectively on these lottos. And if it's not, then you have no business taking a lotto. You still need to be building, compounding that small account size until you get to a point where you have an extra $100 to throw at a lotto or an extra, 150 that's from the profit from the week to throw at a lotto.
Yeah.
The other thing I really, really don't like is I think this kind of comes from Wall Street bets where people are like YOLO, blah, 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 YOLO, where they'll entire account earnings reports and end up, you'll see this person's account goes like 1,000% and they had 5 grand and now they have whatever that is, 50 grand. Um, and then everyone wants to chase and everyone is so ready to be these earnings ninjas when it takes a lot of fundamental research to actually have an idea and get a real edge on
Yeah.
lottos. And the other part of it is a lot of times you can be right on your thesis and lose money because the market says fuck you. The
Yeah.
market says fuck you probably half of these. Half of these earnings lottos, you're going to be right, and the stock's not going to move enough for your lotto to pay you hardly anything. Like, I would say 30% of the time, I'll be right. And then, I was right. What was it? POWW. They like 100% revenue increase more than analysts expected. And it moved like 1%. The theta burn overnight took all of my profit and I
Yeah.
ended even though
Yeah.
it was like a nice 100% revenue gain, more than what was expected.
Yeah.
So there's just a lot of extenuating, I guess, factors for earnings lottos, and you guys just need to be doing it via profit and realize that you need to be using enough money to where if you lose all of it, you're not going to even like think twice about it. Like, lose it and be like, oh, okay, I'm still profitable in the week. That sucks. Sorry, next play.
Yeah.
And they're really fun. That's the issue, is they're so fun to just like have like some money on something. It's like betting. It's literally just pretty much betting, unless you have enough skill in the fundamental side to actually look at things, look at numbers, look at EPS from previous, look at analysts and see if they're overcorrecting, all that kind of stuff. And if you don't, then it's just betting. So
Yeah.
treat it as betting. Use such a small amount of money to where if you lose it all, it's not that big of a deal.
Or dude, the worst too is like somebody will see somebody make a shit ton of money on a lotto and they're like, "Oh, damn. I didn't get in that. Like why did I not get in that? I should have. Like, am I dumb? Like how did I not think to get in that?" And then the next lotto, they're instantly in because they have FOMO from the previous one. They literally don't even know what they're buying and they get absolutely smoked. Like, you have to, like, it's a lotto. You have to at least have a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to at least know why you're taking the lotto. Like,
Yeah, don't be the person who just takes it to take it.
yeah, like, know what you're taking and why you're taking it and why you think it's going to move in that direction, and like, know that you could lose a good chunk of that. You just have to know these things beforehand. And also, if you're trading with money you can't afford to lose on a lotto, that's not going to work either. Either like you said, trade with profit or have a separate account, like a lotto account.
That's what I have.
Yeah.
I have a lotto account, and then I have like only trading with profit in my actual account if I'm going to be doing lottos. I saw a guy on Twitter this week. He hit the Netflix puts, and then he said, on the phone with my insiders for Tesla. And apparently he then called Tesla $700 puts. And you guys saw how that went. They got smacked. Tesla was up like 10% after hours or something like that. And it's like, you can't listen to people who don't give any reasoning with their tweets and stuff. Like, I'm on the phone with my insider. No, he's not. No, he's not. He's not on the phone with his insider, because that would be illegal, and people don't do illegal shit. And also, who is stupid enough as an insider to talk to someone who's going to tweet, I'm talking to an insider?
Or, dude,
people aren't that stupid.
Or the best is when somebody hits a lotto and I'm like, hey, dude, you're gonna have to pay taxes. Like, you might want to
file a fourth or third of that away.
You might not want to blow all that because you're gonna be really upset when you have to pay taxes at the end of the year. So,
if you roll through Wall Street bets, in the past few weeks when taxes have been going up, it's all the people who made like crazy money from GameStop. Like, we're talking like some people made like millions of dollars and owe like $800K on taxes, but they blew it all. And they're like, how do I get a loan for $600,000 to pay these taxes? It's like, you guys didn't realize in the first place, like, you should not be trading with millions of dollars if you didn't know you had to pay taxes.
Like, you think you just walk away with all that? Like, no.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what the actual fuck?
Like, you won the lottery, you have to pay taxes. If you win the real lottery, you don't get all that money.
Yeah, exactly. How do you hold runners? Because I know usually you are the person that I know that holds like, like a couple contracts or something for a couple 100% more than I do, because I usually sell all of it. So how do you go about holding those runners?
Um, so I think it's just depending on the situation. Like something like what's today? The 21st of April. I took SPY and AMD, and today was like as clear of a trend day as we possibly could have gotten. It was like aggressive selling pretty much all day. So, a day like today, let me pull the chart up. So a day like today, and then we were kind of analyzing how it's like at such a key level.
Mm-hmm.
What a little trick I like to use is I will use the 10-minute 9 and 20 EMA. If I don't, so like today when I entered these, I entered these on the gap, so it gapped up overnight, and then I played the gap. Well, not a single time today did it break above the 9 or the 20 on the 10-minute. So that's what I use. So like, I'm obviously scaling at like 10, 15% and then continuing to scale, and then I'll always hold some. But like that's what for me is what I'll use, and like I'm overnighting some because it really doesn't matter. I already made my money. If we gap down through that zone tomorrow, which I think we're going to do, great. I made another whatever. Because they closed today, I think at like 500%. But no, I told you this the other day. I challenged myself like 3 weeks ago to see if I could get 1,000% every week, and unfortunately last week I didn't. But for like 2-3 weeks there, I had gotten 1,000% every week just using that, like just using my 9 and 20 on the 10-minute. I don't think people understand how important those are. Like today, it tested the 9, SPY did 10 times, rejected it 10 times. I was just literally watching to see if we got confirmation above the 9 and the 20, and that's what I used to exit. So trend days like this are, I don't want to say easy. I hate saying the word easy, like when it comes to trading, but it was because that's all I was watching for. And we didn't get that. We didn't get that a single time. So I also don't want people to get like this false sense of like reality, like, oh, why is he trying to get 1,000% every week? It's not like that. It's not like I'm taking a position, holding it full, and being like, I'm not selling this till 1,000%. It's I start scaling at 10%. I'm only holding a couple contracts. So you guys just have to understand that, like, it's just I'm willing to assume more risk, but it's not really risk because I already made my money. When the chart tells me to exit something, I'll exit something. I won't even look at my P&L. Like I'll look at the percentage, but I'm not looking at, how much money I've made or am down. I'm just looking at the chart, and that's basically it. And once you can do that, it just opens up opportunity to, hit big plays. It's not like it's like calculated risk. It's not me just being arrogant and thinking that I can just hold a full position for hundreds of percent.
Yeah.
But it's
Exactly. Can't be holding full positions for big ass gains. I know a lot of people talk about that on Twitter, like, oh, all you need is to, know what you're gonna do at the opening bell, and then have your SPY thesis for the rest of the day, like calculated. To me, it's like, why would you risk all of that? Why would you risk, holding a full position for that long all day based on a thesis when you can get in and get out for, 15-20% and hold a few, just like you're talking for that thesis. Which I think that's a much better risk reward.
You got to think about it too. Like, so say I'm all scaled out, I'm holding a few contracts. Say I'm up like 200%. Okay. Most people be like, damn, like I'll take 200%. If I'm watching that chart, say I'm in puts, I'm watching that chart and I get a break above the 9, the 20, those last contracts, I'm still getting almost 200%.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm taking whatever the chart's going to give me, and the chart will tell me when to get out. So, I'm being very disciplined with it. But again, I'm not trying to, like, encourage people do that, especially if you're playing one contract of something. You bet your ass you better be selling that at like 10%. Like 5-10%, like sell it. Take your money and then
for sure.
This applies only to people that know, like, are good with TA. They know what they're looking for. They're playing multiple contracts and scaling. This does not apply to that trader that's playing one contract of whatever.
You'd better get your ass out of those
Yes.
contracts as soon as you see the green.
Yes, at all times, all the time.
Yeah. I actually talk so much about that to people in my Discord. Like, if you're one of the people who has a few contracts, 1, 2, 3 contracts, you'd better be taking that 5% half, like half at 5, half at 10, or half at 5, a fourth at 10, a fourth at 15, or else it's going to be gone before you know it, especially on options.
Yeah.
Things will come back and you'll just be blown out of your money. And then you'll be like, what the hell happened? Well, what happened is you didn't take profit. So take your fucking profit. When it's there, take it. Run away with it.
Yeah, and two, you guys need to be looking at a higher time frame. If you're, and this is just me being honest, if you're trying to trade off a 1 minute chart, you cannot strictly trade off a 1 minute. If you're trying to trade off a 3 minute or a 5 minute only, you cannot do that. I trade off the 3, 5, and 10. Before I take a position, I am immediately looking at the 10 minute. Whether I enter off the 3 or 5, I need to know what the 10 minute looks like. And then once I enter something, I'm watching the 10 minute. Like, if I'm entering something, say I'm entering puts, I'm watching the 10 minute. I need to know where my 9 is, because you may have a whole lot of shit going on in the 3 and 5 minute. You may have the 3 minute may break above the 9. But on that 10 minute time frame, it's still trapped under the 9, and that higher time frame EMA means a whole hell of a lot more than a 3 minute. You get 3+ minute candles within a 10 minute, so a higher time frame is how I'm riding contracts.
I agree. I think people forget a lot of times that those higher time frames are the bigger picture. They're easier to see the trend that's going to come in the future than like a 3 minute, a 2 minute, a 1 minute. Those are kind of just like for momentary moves.
Yep.
You're basically playing inside of the 10-minute candles. If you're playing a 1 minute setup, you're playing inside of a 10-minute candle. Same with if you're playing a 10 minute, you're playing inside of an hourly candle. It's just how it works. I would say if you're not using the 5 or the 10 for a position that you're going to be holding for more than 5 minutes, then you're doing something a little bit funky. I'm not going to say wrong because I don't want to, some people will get all mad and stuff, but you're doing something funky, because for me, that just doesn't make sense why I would be, if I'm holding something for more than 5 of these 1 minute candles, why wouldn't I just use a higher time frame and actually find a setup that's probably going to develop more likely and more percent of the time than something on a 1 minute, which those 1 minute candles can knife. The setups aren't as reliable on a 1 minute. There's not as much volume per candle. It just continually goes up. 10 minute, you're getting way more volume per candle than a 5 minute, 1 minute, all that kind of stuff. I agree. 10-minute candle, use 10 minutes. I use hourly quite a bit for key levels too. I'll use hourly for key levels. 10-minute is a good way to look at candlestick patterns. 5-minute as well. All of those are pretty good. Just the 1 minute, you'll get shaken out pretty easy, and you also can't really tell the bigger picture, like we were saying.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say quickly, like I have people that reach out to me and they're like they'll take the same trade I took. Like this morning on AMD, we took AMD, and I said on stream, like, it looked really good on the 3 minute. We had a really nice curl. We had set a higher low, and I'm like, guys, this looks good on the 3. Let's check the 10. We checked the 10. It's still under the 9 and the 10. I said, before this may just be a micro move, and we have to treat it as a micro move against this downtrend until this 9 on the 10's broken. It got stuffed extremely hard at the 9, and then we broke it. We pull back and break through right at demand where we were. So that 3-minute looked great, but it didn't matter. Like, unless you were scalping that micro move, it literally meant nothing, because as soon as we got stuffed at the 9, it pushed us under demand, and that was just an example today. Like, you have to use a higher time frame.
Yeah, if you're playing on a 1 minute or a 3 minute, use it as a 1 or 3 minute setup. Like treat it that way. Treat it like it's a 1 minute setup. And when you're in a 1 minute setup, you know that the breakout is going to be a couple candles most likely.
Yep.
So you got to be out within a few minutes. If you're in a 3 minute, you know that it's going to be a few candles. Be out within those few candles, which will probably be 9-10 minutes.
Yep.
5 minute, treat it within a few candles. 10 minute, you get 20-30 minutes. That's a lot easier. It's a lot easier to manage that way.
Yeah.
All right, we got bullish versus bullshits. We're going to save Netflix for our stock spotlight, but bullish versus bullshits. First one we're going to talk about is Tesla. They just beat earnings. It was actually a pretty solid beat for Tesla. Usually they're pretty close, but usually they beat. But it was really good this time.
Yeah, I was going to say it was really good.
But regardless, they got stuffed big time today via the markets. What is that? They opened at 1074 and closed at 1009. So yeah, big ass stuff for them. How are you feeling about Tesla via the chart here?
The chart. Let me pull it up.
I'll go first.
Yeah,
since
I
just collected my thoughts. It looks like they got stuffed mega on that top trend line. From November 4th top, January 3rd top, and then April 4th top. They got stuffed big time April 4th. And so I think they need more downside here. I really do. I think they probably head under 1,000 and head down to about 900, and then maybe we'll talk again at that point. But yeah, I think it's bullshit here. I think it's topping in that channel. It needs to touch the bottom of the channel before we see any sort of reversal.
It's the chart's weird. You have a lot of room down to the 50, which is under 1,000, like 930. You have 200s under that, which are under 900. Obviously 900's at 1,900. They're both big time psych levels. But this chart's strange to me. It got stuffed at trend. Maybe we get a 50 touch. Maybe we get 200s touch. If 1,900 fail. It's hard for me to, I don't know. It's hard for me to feel here or there about this in terms of bullish or bearish. I think two scenarios I see. If you break trend, it's off, like to the races. If you break the 200, it's off to the races in the other direction. Like I said, that those 200s are right under 900. But who knows? It's always good for the market when Tesla's doing well. So, if it shits the bed, that's not great. Tesla can pull the market by itself. So I'm kind of neutral at the moment.
Yeah. I would say for me, a big factor is how it reacted to earnings, like, running up so much, but then getting stuffed so hard, which I know part of it is the market, but also you'd think that such a big day after earnings for Tesla, you think they could do something, but they were unable to. And also just with them getting rejected at that trend line, I would say we're at least going to break 1,000. If we break 900, I'd be surprised. I would kind of say 900 would kind of be like the pivot area that I would expect possible reversal.
Yeah.
Considering there's some consolidation there from January and February, and also the EMAs are kind of lining up there. 930, like you said, is a 50, and then I have 896 is the 200. So like $900 could be a good spot um, for some sort of reversal point on Tesla. But right now I'm bullish or bearish. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a little neutral.
The last bullish versus bullshit, we only got two today, is not technically a stock, but it's gold and silver. So it's GLD, and then I think it's SVR. Um, I'll go first on this one too. I'm actually bullish on both of them, which is pretty evident of my Gato and GPL swings. But I think they're both still primed for a bit of a breakout here. I'm just looking at gold here, GLD. Um, I really like this chart via the weekly. If you go to the 1 week chart, there was a nice pennant that broke out. It broke out on February 7th, and since then we've been trending to the upside. There was a big stuff. Right about, I think it was like 193. It got stuffed, but it's also been just making higher lows on the weekly since then, and I think it's going to continue making higher lows, and I think it's just going to kind of trend upwards via SPY trending downwards here, because there's kind of an inverse correlation between gold, silver versus SPY. And so I think personally, this is a personal opinion, a lot of people might differ. I think SPY is probably going to need some downside here, and so I'm feeling confident that gold, silver, precious metals, commodities will at least have a bit of upside for the next few months. Don't quote me there, but that's my thoughts. So I'm going to say bullish on gold and silver.
Yeah, I'm bullish as well. Not only do I like the chart, but I was talking to Connor, and we were talking about gold and silver, and how, that's the move, and I don't really respect anyone's opinion more than Connor's. Like, he's a genius. If anybody knows Connor Poliferone, I think I'm pronouncing that right. He's the Boiler Room on YouTube. The guy is a genius, and he was talking about gold and silver being the move. And not only that, but the chart does look really good. So I'm definitely bullish on that, on gold and silver.
Yeah, I like their charts.
Also,
we're gonna get him on the podcast here soon.
Yeah, I would love that. Also, the VIX chart looks good, which means not good for everything else.
Let me go look at that. Are we talking daily?
Yeah, it respected trend there, like the 5th of April.
Well, yeah, it does.
So.
Oh, dude, it looks kind of like really good.
Yeah, which is not.
It has a lot of upside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it tested that bottom trend line hardcore and bounced big time.
Oh yeah.
It's above the 9 here, dude. It could, if it makes a higher high here, we'd be fucked.
If we're above like 25.7, that's bad news.
Imagine if this thing goes to like $40.
Yeah, bro, that means SPY like 400.
Dude, and the Bollinger Bands are getting so tight on VIX. It's Look at every single time the Bollinger Bands have gotten tight. That was back November 16th. The Bollinger Bands were really tight, and then the thing ran to $35. The Bollinger Bands were really tight January 14th, and then VIX ran to 38.
Yeah, VIX is key for me with my trading. I'm always watching VIX at all times.
It's ready for a move. That's scary. I haven't looked at VIX daily in quite a while, probably a week or two.
Yeah, I look at it every night.
I look at the like the 5-minute and an hourly a lot, but I never looked at the daily recently. Okay. Last little stock stuff. We're gonna do spotlights. We're gonna talk about 3 names. The big one we're gonna do first, which is Netflix. We've talked Netflix a bit earlier, but we're gonna talk deeper, as in indicators, intrinsic value type stuff, ownership, what kind of stuff we could be looking at for whether or not it's a good buy right now versus, the $700 it was. When was that? Was that back in November? It was $700 freaking dollars,
Yeah.
and right now it's
This is
$200.
the lowest it's been in 4 years.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
That is fucking nuts. So if I'm looking, so I'm just on FinViz here. So anyone can do this. Anyone who wants to go look at FinViz and do these deeper dives, you can go do this yourself. But I'm gonna roll through some stuff. Income wise, they're sitting at $5 billion in income with a market cap of 100 billion. They have $13 cash per share, which is pretty solid actually, considering they have 400 and some million shares. So that's pretty solid cash size. I could see them doing something with that, to be honest. Considering their price is so low right now, I could see them using some sort of that cash to, whether it's um, buy something, make an offer on something, get into a different space. So that's something that we need to consider, is Netflix possibly getting into a new space, or technological advancements, buying
VR.
new series. Dude, VR would be pretty dope, not gonna lie. um so that sits them at a PE ratio of 20.44. That's still above the average, but we know that tech usually runs a bit high. The average is, I think, 16. So it's sitting at 20 is not all that crazy. Debt to equity ratio is 0.97. Isn't good, but they have a lot of cash. They have a lot of income. So I'm not really concerned about their debt to equity ratio. The insiders own 1.5%. Not a whole lot, but they have been increasing their share. The past 3 months, they've added 0.3%, which is still pretty small, but they're still increasing, so can't be mad. Institutions own 82%, which I think I saw that like the state of California lost like, was it billions or 400 million maybe? I don't know how much money they lost, but the state of California, so like the state owned Netflix shares for people's retirement plans, and they got absolutely obliterated. It was
Yikes.
bad. It was really fucking bad. I also know a lot of really smart people were long Netflix since that last earnings. Some last things we got here. Technically, we got the RSI sitting at 19, which is that's pretty crazy, bro. What else do we got? Performance half of a year. So performance for the past 6 months has been minus 65%. Damn, that's brutal. That's really brutal. ATR $22. Volatility this week is 7%. Volatility this month is 4.4%. Shares outstanding, we got 443 million. So I guess for me, this really comes down to if you believe Netflix can keep up with the times. If you think Netflix has it in them to maybe do something with that cash they have, acquire, a big TV show, acquire another company that could get them into another space. But personally, I think Netflix is too big of a company for this to fuck them long term. I think they're going to do whatever it takes to move around. They're such a household name that I think they can navigate these waters.
Yeah.
So within the next like month or two, I'm probably going to go long in my IRA. And then I'll have like half a position. And then I will probably smack another half a position if they go lower. It's just one of those long-term holds that I can't deny, considering the discount it's at right now. What do you think?
Here's something that I've thought about before. Like, I can break it down technically, but there's nothing to break down technically. It's the lowest it's been in 4 years. It's gapped down aggressively the last how many days. So technically, you have to see where this ends up and consolidates. But something I thought about is like, everybody knows movie theaters are dying. I wouldn't be surprised if they pulled something like kind of like what HBO did, where they're getting movies like right away, or maybe they do some sort of partnership with these big time movie companies where they stream their movies for a price. Like if you don't want to go to a theater, okay, you can go, you can pay the cost to go to a theater through Netflix, watch the movie not live, but like when it's released. I always thought like somebody's going to do that. Like movie theaters are dying. Like that's just the reality of it with COVID and even before that with all these streaming services. So I won't honestly be surprised if they pulled something like that, like an on-demand type deal where you can pay a fee, watch a movie, or, maybe you get movies on demand like HBO does where you get them right after they're out of theaters. So, but I like it long term, but I can't break this down technically because there's nothing to break down technically. Now it's a matter of you have to wait and see where this ends up.
Yeah.
But long term, they have to do something, and they'll figure something out.
I agree.
Long
term, I feel like. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say I already saw that they're in talks to lower the subscription cost and do some sort of like ad revenue to compensate
smart.
for that. Yeah.
That's really smart. I think I've thought about this for a bit too. I feel like it'd be really smart for Netflix to like do something physical. Like right now they're all on the web. I think it'd be really smart for them to either, like you were saying, head into VR of some sort where you can like, VR watch a show premiere and like feel like you're in a movie theater, or do the fucking damn thing and open Netflix movie theaters where you like watch show premieres, like do all this stuff. Like you guys could make a lot of money with like the Ozark premiere, like doing it at your theaters a week before you put it
Yep.
on your actual Netflix. And anyone who has a Netflix subscription could get in for free or some shit like that. Like do something like that. That would be super cool. Like I would definitely go watch if they were to say like have like something cool, like if it was the Ozark thing, like I was talking the Ozark, or like back in the day the Walking Dead when they would put the new Walking Dead seasons on there.
Yeah.
If you were to have like that at a like TV fucking theater, I don't know, you can't call it a movie theater anymore, TV theater, I think that'd be pretty cool. But they're obviously thinking that movie theaters are almost done for, so that's probably why they're moving in the other direction. So maybe they'll go VR, maybe they'll do something like that. But I think long term Netflix is probably at a pretty solid point here. I feel like they've gotten shit on since November. Now minus 65% glares at me. I'm just looking at it. It just glares at me. At some point, they're going to have to make a move. And when they make a move, the upside on this thing is pretty crazy. Considering, I mean, the sales that they have is 30 billion and their market cap is 100 billion right now. Like that's a really, really good number.
Yeah.
Ratio
Yeah.
for a big ass tech company. That's a lot of the ratios we see for these like penny stocks. Is like 1/3 of their market cap is their sales number. So considering you can get Netflix at that right now, it's almost like you have to buy sometime within the next month or two before it gets above 250 again. Like you have to, it feels like. For me at least, it feels like.
I think too, it's like it's not so like the stuff like the original series on Netflix are great and shot like incredibly well, like your Stranger Things and Ozark and whatever the hell else is on there. Like they're all really well done, like very well done. So it's not like they're lacking quality in that aspect, but the like removing the popular stuff, like you can't keep, losing these series to other streaming services. Like you can't allow that to happen. So they'll figure it out.
They vastly underrated how much people will come back for The Office, Friends, How I Met Your Mother. Like they
Yep.
wanted to create all this new stuff, which is very cool. I love their new stuff. Honestly, I've watched a lot of it.
Me
Their
too.
original series, like their Harlan Coben series, I love those, like all those kinds of stuff. But they completely forgot that like everyone, when they can't find a show to watch and they're just like in between shows floating, wants to just turn on The Office or wants to just turn on Friends and watch like random
Yeah.
episodes or watch a season here or there before they can find another show. Like those are what kept people coming back to The Office or Netflix for so long, and they
Yeah.
got rid of like probably 3/4 of them.
Yeah, that's the problem. They the quality is always really good. They have to just find out a way to lower subscription cost, Obviously, the Russia shit hurt a lot of companies. Dude, that's also something to think. There's going to be a lot of companies reporting earnings that, aren't going to be too hot with the Russia
We're
stuff.
gonna be seeing some bad stuff.
Oh, yeah.
For the next, probably.
A
That's
while.
why I was. Yeah, that's what I was. Did we talk about that on the podcast? I think I brought that up a while ago. Like the effects of this Russia shit could be like, I know Nike stopped selling to Russia.
Gonna be
That's going to be big.
Dude, there's going to be a lot of opportunity to play these earnings plays.
Yeah, to the downside.
Oh,
Anything
yeah.
that like you can look for that cut Russia ties.
McDonald's.
Yeah, they shut down all their fucking
Mm-hmm.
McDonald's in there.
That you got to think that's how many millions and millions and millions of people.
Yeah, for real, for real. We're talking next up. We got the people's main event, the fan favorite, the FinTwit darling.
Don't even say
CEI.
Oh, motherfucker.
CEI.
The
I'm gonna tell you
favorite.
guys. I'm gonna tell you guys what I can tell you about this one. Fundamental wise, there's really not that much on FinViz. There's also not that much because it's. I'm gonna say this quietly. It's a shit penny stock. They don't really give out that many numbers. I'll go quick on this. Their market cap is 227 million, which for a 91-cent stock, 227 million is a pretty high market cap. Their sales, they have a ton of sales. Like it is like huge. 0.27 million. It's pretty fucking massive. You guys hear how big that number is? That's $270,000 in sales for a $227 million company. That's a lot of sales.
Yeah, that's
substantial. I'm just kidding. I hope anyone who's new that's listening to this, I mean the exact opposite. I was trying to be sarcastic. That puts their PS ratio at 830. I'm just gonna let that sink in for a minute. 830. That's I don't even need to say anything about that. That's terrible. That's absolutely fucking terrible. Their insider ownership is only 0.9%. Institutional ownership is 3%. So that means that together, institutions and insiders only own 4.3% of the company. They have 250 million shares outstanding. Yeah, I think all I'm going to say about this is if this thing doesn't have any meme runs, then they're going to have to offer again, and they're going to tank the share price because they always offer.
Oh,
they always offer.
It's coming.
They have an S3 open
this summer.
They always fucking offer. They have 27.27 million in sales. It's shitty. It's shitty. That's all I'm going to say is it's shitty. And I'm going to let you talk and then we'll move on. But it's shitty.
They'll run an offering. It'll turn into a gap play. People will then advertise it as a gap play. It'll gain a little traction again. And then that's it. And that's all it'll ever be. This is kind of off topic, but not, dude. You want to know what the biggest tragedy in the market's been in the last year? The biggest tragedy, yeah, that. But the biggest tragedy in the stock market this past year, has been Jan on November 8th.
All right, let me go look.
Okay, you're not gonna be able to see it because of the way my chart is, but I have like the nastiest descending wedge on Jan. That on November 8th rejected the top of it so hard, and think about the opportunity if it would have done the opposite. If that motherfucker would have just broke out like it was supposed to right there instead of
Dude, I can see it.
Instead of getting rejected.
That thing, oh my gosh. It got rejected so fucking hard.
Bro, it got rejected so hard, now it's $2. That was like, oh man.
Like imagine just like Shaq against me 1v1 basketball. That's what happened. Like I drove to the hoop and then Jan just got
Yeah, bro.
Fucking smacked.
That's the biggest tragedy in the market in the last year.
I
What
agree.
could have
Because if
been?
it, dude, because look at all those bottoms in that same area,
Oh,
590,
we'd
and
still
then
be
bottom
playing
at
it.
590. Exactly. Me and you would still be fucking playing it, but now we can't play it because it's fucking downtrending.
I can't believe that.
We're gonna find another one here soon. Dude, look how
Yeah.
many times it just goes $6 to
Oh,
like 650, 6 to 650, 6 to 650, 6 to 650. So many times
or that those occasional days where it'll just jump like double the
in
price.
percent.
Yep.
And then there'd even be liquidity to sell on it. Like it wouldn't be like it would jump and we couldn't sell. It would literally jump and then we could sell. Like we could all
Oh,
sell.
we'd sell, and then we put our bid back down where we bought, and it instantly
Yeah.
get filled.
We did that from like 8 to 9, and then we did that from 7 to 8, and then
Yeah.
6 to 7.
Those
It's
were the
crazy.
days.
It's absolutely crazy. All right, I don't want to talk about Snap. We have Snapchat on here, on our list. I don't really want to talk about it. I think Snapchat's a stupid
I have
fucking
nothing
company.
good to talk about Snapchat because the IV is always
Yeah,
ridiculous.
agreed. The last thing on this entire episode I want to talk about is how scary the ocean is, man.
Dude.
I can't get over how scary. I just learned that the ocean, the light only goes down 1,000 feet, and under that, it's completely black. And so, like, if
Completely.
you're in the middle of the ocean, you're literally over like 1,000 feet of light, and then like blue water, ha, 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 and then underneath that, it's just black for like thousands and thousands of feet to the bottom of the
Think
ocean.
about what lives down there.
Right? We don't know because nothing can go down there because of the pressure. There's
There could be
probably some
another
fucking
like
animals.
world. There could be people down there.
That's weird.
Maybe you
dude.
go down, dude. Maybe you go down and then you just come out the other side and you start floating up. And it's a new
There's
and
no
you
gravity
and
down
you
there.
you go so far down you start coming up and you surface and it's a different world.
It's just like an earth down there, but it's water, and then you come out to the other fucking side.
Yeah, dude, you go down
It's
down and then
Atlantis, bro.
yeah, and then you start coming up, you see light and then you start coming up and it's a new world.
That's so weird.
Would you rather be burned alive or out stranded in the middle of the ocean?
Burned alive.
You think so?
I think so. What do you think?
I don't know because if at least if I'm out in the middle of the ocean, I have a chance.
The thing about being out in the middle of the ocean that I learned, because dude, I had a health teacher. He was an absolute fucking G, but he showed us like I'm surprised I'm alive or I survived something. Like those TLC
Yeah.
TV shows like I Survived. He showed us those like 3 times a week because he was retiring that year. He just didn't want to teach.
Yeah.
So we watched a bunch of those, and there were like probably like 10 episodes of people stranded. The thing that I didn't know is you can get like so burned on cloudy days if you're in the
Yeah.
water, because like it'll be completely cloudy, but like the water is literally just like a big ass like fucking like everything is reflecting onto you. Like it's just continually reflecting onto you. And I learned that some people would get like, I don't know if it's first, second, or third degree burns, but they would get one of them just from being like stranded at the ocean for
Yeah.
like 2 days. They would get such bad burns that their skin would like peel off. Like they would like literally their skin would fall off.
Yeah. Dude, imagine
Plus a shark. What if you saw
Oh.
a shark?
imagine being stranded where you just look in a complete 360 and it's just water and you don't know what's under your feet. Ugh. You just don't know, like you're just flapping, like going away with your feet and there's just whatever the hell is down underneath you.
You could be 1,000 miles away from the next person and you just wouldn't know.
Oh, you wouldn't know if you're right next to like land or not.
Yeah, literally, you would not know any. Oh my gosh, dude. The other thing too is the other reason I'm so afraid of water is the fucking waves. Have you seen some tsunamis, man?
Oh, like the big ass waves, yeah.
I went down a tsunami rabbit hole. I would say, when was that? A week or two ago, just watching tsunami videos on YouTube. I feel like I go down more rabbit holes than anyone I know.
The tsunami rabbit hole.
I went down the tsunami rabbit hole, man, and let me tell you, it was a fucking hole. It was a fucking like it was the biggest wave I had ever seen in my entire life. Like it was literally covering the entire screen at the beginning of one of these videos. I could not find the wave. And I was like, what am I looking for? Like, what am I looking for? It was the full screen. It
Yeah.
was that tall. It was that tall. And then it just like broke these buildings off. And then these people, you saw these people running. They were like running away because they were like, fuck, it's a tsunami. And then you just see them get hit by the water. One of them flies up. Like it was literally like imagine Thanos' fist hitting. One flew up, like four of them got caught underneath.
Dude.
And then they're just gone. Everything is just gone in its path because it's
Power
so
of
heavy
water.
and so strong.
Yeah.
It's the fucking ocean. That's so scary.
Dude, the ocean always tripped me out. I went kayaking once at Myrtle Beach in South Carolina. Like, we were pretty far out, like, with kayaks. And I'm
That's
just thinking,
scary,
like,
bro.
dude, like, you know, if I accidentally flip out of this, like, what the hell's gonna happen? So,
You're fucked.
yeah.
You're fucked. I was with friends on like our senior little vacation. When I was in high school, we went to like Utah and Colorado for our senior trip. It was like me and like five of my buddies, and we rented those paddle boards, and we were at is it Flaming Gorge? I think it's Flaming Gorge. It's like a big like lake river thing, and it just we like rented these paddle boards, and it was a windy day, and we didn't think it was that windy. We got stranded like so far away, and it was just a lake. This wasn't even the ocean. This was just a lake. We got stranded so far away from where we like had parked our car and like the beach where people were because like in this place it's like a gorge around, and so you can't like go up on shore.
Hmm.
So we got stranded so far away that it took one of my friends like 4 hours to get back. We all got back like 2 hours after we'd like started going back, but it was so windy and it was so like there were like waves in this lake because it was so windy. He got stranded so far away that it took him 4 hours to
Yeah,
get
dude.
back. We ended up having to like pay extra because like they were like you're supposed to have these back after like 3 hours because we thought we were just gonna go stand on these paddle boards like fucking like go around a bit, and then like all of a sudden we're on the other side of the lake and it's a massive fucking lake, and
Yeah.
all of us are looking at each other like, dude, what is going on? We thought he was like, we didn't know if we were gonna make it because then one end is a river, one end of this lake is a river, and if you get caught in the river, it's like a raging fucking river, like with a lake in the middle. It was so scary. And then that same trip, I got really really crossed, and I jumped off of the cliff that we were diving off of, and I hit my head on a rock, and it started bleeding.
Jesus, dude.
Yeah, it was a scary trip, but nothing was scarier than being like on the opposite side of the lake. And I
Yeah.
can't imagine, dude. Imagine being in the ocean and just like losing control of something.
No.
Fuck no, bro.
You'd go insane. No.
I seriously would. Imagine like washing up on an island where there's nobody and just having to like live your last hours on a
Yep.
fucking island.
By yourself? Yeah. No thanks.
I remember one of those I survived videos. The dude just like swam as far down as he could to kill himself, but then he ended up waking up floating in the top of the water again because he was like, I'm just like, I can't do this anymore. Because he, at that point, he'd gotten burned so bad that he had blisters all over his body. And he was just like, I'm done. So he like swam all the way down and just kept swimming until he had no oxygen left. Which, second of all, dude, that's the worst way to die too, is drowning.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
You don't die
like
right away.
Exactly. It takes a while.
Yeah, you like
That's so
pass
scary.
it. Yeah.
He tried that. He woke up, and then he was like, at that point, I'd realized like God had given me another chance, so I was gonna fight. And then he ended up surviving somehow, which is fucking crazy.
That's crazy.
It's absolutely nuts. But like, I can't imagine being stuck out there
No.
trying to kill myself and failing at killing myself. Like what the hell?
And
man?
then living.
Yeah, for real. And then having to like still be stranded in the middle of the
Yep.
ocean.
Like, fuck, that didn't work. Like,
That's like, have you ever seen those stories about the dudes who like try to shoot themselves in the head? I don't want to like trigger anybody or anything, but like these dudes try to shoot themselves in the head and they miss. They miss because of the kick of the gun.
dude.
They'll like shoot and it'll like the bullet will go through like barely through.
Jesus.
And I'm like, bro, that's terrible. Like you'd like be like handicapped the rest of your life because you tried to shoot yourself in the head and missed.
Yeah, dude, that's...
It's terrifying. Anyways,
No
I don't
way.
know how we got to that, but the ocean is scary.
I don't know how we got that dark.
I don't either.
That's funny.
Dude, I could never be in a submarine either. That's the thing I think about, like the Navy soldiers who are in submarines
Yeah,
year
dude. Something
round.
goes wrong.
Yeah. Where are you
No.
going?
Yeah.
The pressure? Like
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if like someone if they like hit a rock or a rock hits them or something bad, it could like mess up the pressure in the cabin and then all of a sudden
It like
the entire
implodes.
thing, I'm pretty sure they've said the entire thing will just like be like this and then
Self
poof.
combust. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll just like smash everybody.
That's craziness. Or like a spaceship.
Oh, dude, that's scary.
You just start floating
You know
off.
Bro, I saw something. If you jizz in space, you'll move backwards because of like the like
Like it's a rocket?
yeah, like a rocket, bro. It'll literally push you backwards because of like
Jesus. Where do you even see
how like
that?
there's I I think it was on Reddit or something. It was like I just learned that if you jizz and if you like come in space, it'll push you backwards. And it told you like how far you'd go, or like not how far, but like how fast you'd go. And you'll just like keep going because there's no gravity. It'll just like keep sending you backwards.
That's so funny.
Dude,
Christ.
I wondered if you were like one of those dudes who could like do it like 10 times in a row, if you could just keep getting faster and faster.
You just got a rocket booster on you.
You're just accelerating.
You have a jetpack.
Maybe that's what we're meant to do, is go to space, and then that's what
Maybe that is
our dicks are made for.
It is a little rocket booster.
It's it's a fucking jetpack, but it's built in.
It's a jetpack. Oh, that's funny.
All right, thanks everybody for tuning in.
Yeah, if you made it to the end of the episode.
Yeah, you got a little tidbit about jizzing in space.
It was going so good. Now where do we stand? The way you been moving, what is your plan? Baby, I'm confused. Is you gonna make me choose? It seems like we going through the motion.